Greetings, folks. Welcome to the, is it August 12th? August 12th. August 12th gathering, the City of Lawrence Parks Recreation Board. Couple things here, a fun note. The Wizard of Oz premiered on this day in 1939, by the way. It's one of my five favorite. I want to give a high five. I'm starting to show my age. We do have a new grandparent in the room, and that's Eric Martin, our director.
Hey, congratulations.
Well, what drives you nuts is his son Mitch. Of course, I knew when Mitch was born and known him forever. He's not old enough to have a kid, but hell, he's in his 30s, and I'm going, oh my God. So congratulations there, Grandpa. That's kind of funny. That's kind of fun to say that. Excuse me there real quick. Thank you, Ms. D, for getting the notes out in a timely manner. So if you give a chance to peruse the minutes, I apologize, told them notes, the minutes. If you have any additions, subtractions, bring them forward. If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to accept.
There's a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. A couple of comments here real quick. Ms. Munston it's starting to be her crazy time of the year. Good luck with opening of schools.
Thank you.
But this time around, I always said schools are not just for folks that either have kids in them or teach or whatever. We're all involved, but this year more so than ever. So let's have a good world, have a good start, good year, regardless how we go about teaching kids. A couple things real quick. If you haven't had a chance, they've started the milling up. Eric, you probably will update us, but I'm going to jump the gun. They did the milling of Harmon Way. It's really cool. If you're a kid of any age, it was fun to watch them with the big toys back there milling the street up. And Eric, where are we at with that right now?
It's they've been off the job for the last couple of days due to the rain.
Right.
Scheduled to have it done by the end of the month. So it's a complete rebuild of the road. There was no sub base at all underneath that road.
They went down to the pay dirt. It's
about 18 inches.
wow.
It'll have
Actually be a street.
Yes, it'll be a street. I made a mention to Mr. Murphy at cross country practice. One of my other comments is Joe Murphy is coaching cross country for me at Lawrence North with the boys, and I think it'd be a great fundraiser. The city had a City of Lawrence Grand Prix back there. Just throwing it out there, Tyler. You guys get busy on that. I'm sure it'll be easy to do. And we'll have Ms. Judy come up in a minute and kind of give us an update. But it was very cool to watch the building get moved once more. If you're a child of any age, watching them move that building was one thing. And then Dee and I watched them. They moved it over a hole in the ground. Over the basement. And it was just cool to see, so I'm not going to spoil your, it's cool to see things coming along. So give us a grand update, and give a shout out to administration. I told the mayor yesterday, the crosswalks on the campus here at Fort Ayers. If you had a chance, it's very cool. I told him he screwed up in reverse. I could think of about 6 other places I think they'd be very nice to have. So Tyler, I've got some places mothered, but they're very nice. So high fives there. A couple, just real quick. Eric, where are we at? I'm just going to throw it out there right now. It is fall of the year. We are not, if you haven't been told, we're not going to have the, unfortunately, Labor Day celebration, which is too bad, but we've got other things in the hopper for the rest of the year. We have upcoming seasons occurring, and soccer seasons, fall ball, all that happy stuff. I was telling Miss Wendy over here, one of the issues that I was going to raise, my goodest time as any, I know Cathedral Soccer gets into high gear in competition next week. Fall Creek, I'll use Fall Creek, and OIO have fall ball coming up. We have Lawrence Youth Football coming up. The issue is I'm going to reach out to Cathedral's AD, Rick Strife, myself, where we go back darn near 40 years. Have they been informed? I know the answer, but I just went on the record. Do our youth sports, OIO, Fall Creek have their COVIDs on file, and youth football have their COVID plans on file? I think Cathedral, we need to get in touch. Like I said, I'm going to communicate, and you email. I'll communicate with Rick tomorrow. And I was sharing with Wendy, you and I have been talking about it, and Tyler, if you can jump in, or Judy, anybody in the audience here, if we're at 250 capacity, the issue with us is unique. Is that 250 on the entire property? Is it, we were talking, you could have 25 people in the shelter up front, 15 in the shelter in the back, and 5, 6, 7, 8 soccer fields in use. What does that number mean? I know what it means. I'm not being a smart aleck, but what's it supposed to look like? When we get to youth football, regardless how long this lasts, right now, they have youth football tryouts. The baseball leagues will be playing their tournaments or games. They're easily over 250 people. The point being, I don't want them to get a visit from health department when we as a board aren't really clear. And I know MSDLT board is dealing with that as we approach events, and you guys are, good luck there.
We did reach out 2 weeks ago to Marion County Board of Health, Kelly Whiting, who we've dealt with many other situations. Very helpful with the interior building.
Right.
Had to drop all those down. Her thought was, and again, there's even some going back and forth even with the Board of Health, but we're at 25% in the building, so that means 37 in the Sterot Center.
Right.
And then with regards to the leagues, if they know that they're going to have over 250 people in the vicinity, then they've got to file.
Right. I think it's more than imperative. I'll give Kevin a call, but we are covering our bases. It needs to come from our office, to our youth leagues, Cathedral, whoever's I'll use soccer, whoever we have agreements. I think it needs to come from FC Pride and the folks that you got right now. 250 is a limit. Like I said, I don't know what that means if you got 8 fields going. Mr. Tom, help us out.
You said they have to file a plan, is that right?
Anything over 250 has to file a plan with the Marion County Health Department, and it has a schematic on hand washing stations and one-way entrance and that sort of thing. Actually, we have an event this Saturday at the community shelter house. A young man's having a program there, and he filed, although he doesn't think he's going to have 250, still filed it as a precautionary.
Okay.
But
From
they got back with him pretty quickly.
Okay.
Proof in the pudding, what happened out at the Speedrome this past weekend. I've been to Speedrome, it's a great place, but I think Marion County Health is probably, rightfully so, will step up enforcements, back to school activities, whatever. But I think we have to, and Eric maybe explain, because I asked Eric if whoever we is, are cited by the health department, who's that fine fall upon? And I don't know how
And we don't know. We'll have to get with city legal to find out. But be assured that I know on all of our rentals we've had so far, we've made those people sign in essence a statement that they received. They know the limits of the building. They know that they must wear face mask at all time, and then we give them that order, and they sign that they received that order from Marion County Board of Health. If they read it, they read it. But I think so far, we've had pretty good response from.
Okay. But just communicate formally that, hey, heads up, I think, like I said, we're unsure what 250 means in a multi-use complex. So just putting it out there. Any other questions for Mr. Eric, Ms. Wendy, anybody?
Not about this.
No? Okay. Eric, do you have?
We'll just go right into director's report. Just briefly, I'll just mention a few things. Sean Denny and his foundation had a program last.
Yeah, go on, I forgot to bring. Yep.
It was a food giveaway in assistance with Gleaners Food Bank, and they've already they had that at Community Park. Gave out, I believe, 800 to 1,000 boxes of food. They've already got 2 more scheduled. They're going to have 6 before the end of the year. So,
and a shout out to Sean, and he was sweating bullets over the park or the traffic flow and everything. It went off without a hitch. So, Sean, if you're watching, great job. It's called screwing up in reverse. That means you need to do this more regularly, but you did a great job. So, high five.
Kudos.
Yep.
as Jeff mentioned, with the COVID thing, we have started, because we don't know when we're going to go back to 50% so we've started issuing refunds again. Dina did several this week. We called all the way out to the end of August.
How much I know I've asked this before, a rough guesstimate, how much the hit we've taken so far?
Tyler could probably give you a better answer than that, but about probably 70,000 to 80,000.
Okay, and that's non-reverting fund? Okay.
Something else we're going to discuss. So, and just briefly, the budget we turned in, met with the mayor and the controller today, and in essence, we're going to have to look at a zero budget increase for 2021. So we went back in and redid some numbers today. We think we have some flexibility in this year's budget to do some things that we need done, like the Sterot Center HVAC and playground at Alexander Park and some other things. So,
any big ticket purchases that replace in the fleet? We are not. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I will ask it. We looking at maintaining our personnel level?
Yeah, actually, they're going to, in the ordinance, allow for a 5% increase. However, they're not funding it in the general budget, and until things come to fruition, we know what monies are coming in. So
okay,
that might be some monies at the latter part of next year. We don't know, but
okay.
But as of now, there's no cut.
I do have a question for Eric.
Go ahead.
Do you have any idea? Maybe I'm behind times or whatever. Do you know when the senior activities are going to start back up?
Well, that's been a discussion this week also. Sharon is dying to come back and do something. We're just, the way we read the order, that any senior programming is off until we get to the
Level 5.
Five.
Okay.
Now, again, we don't know if Marion County will keep that restriction down, but we've got to at least wait until the 5.0, and that's through August 27th.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully we can have some good news after that. And
just had people asking. I just wonder.
yeah, so Sharon's been calling every other day. So.
See, okay.
Thanks, Eric.
And then lastly, Harmon Way, as Jeff mentioned, it's they really went gangbusters. They've been out for a couple days, so their contract is through the end of the month. So hopefully they'll be in there getting things ready, because we do have a soccer tournament scheduled for the end of September if things are opened up where we can have that. So
What league is that?
that's the FC Pride. We'll have their FC Pride Cup.
And that's at the end of September?
Yes.
Eric, anything on the parking lots? Does that?
Well, again, it's just, we'll see what, we're also looking at pathways. We got some issues on the pathways.
Yeah.
So we have them, while we have them there, we'll see if we can, the unfortunate thing is when we dig into those parking lots, they're gonna look just like the roadways. So it's, once you tear it up, or it's
You got to tear it out.
nothing, there's nothing to be saved there. So we
Yeah.
can go in, remill or pave over. So once we have an idea of what their finish is going to be, then we'll see if they'll.
Yeah, if nothing else, that middle entrance off of Franklin Road.
Yeah,
And it's, in kind of the front door to your park,
yeah.
and it really looks bad.
Well, I think they didn't tear out the rest of the section. They're going to, I believe they're going to go out to Franklin Road, at least there on the north end, I know. So we'll see if they'll come in and do
If they could do something with that area, and on to the south, it's bad too, but it's
Yeah.
not, people come in that middle area and.
Yeah.
And once that's complete, Eric, how it will be restricted use flow back to building 1?
I haven't heard that from the administration.
Okay, I didn't know if it would be restricted. Okay. Real quick, Tyler, you, Eric, can tag team on this. Joe, I see you're with us. Hi, Joe. Real quick, where are we at on the thingy, the trail out at Lee Road at Park, and B, what are we doing with the milled up Harmon Way?
And that was,
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Hey, so yeah, Tyler, I think Tyler kind of chimed in on that, but yeah, we're kind of in the same place we've been for about a couple weeks now, and we've been waiting on Harmon Way to get milled because all that milling is going to the streets department over on 59th Street, and then
Okay.
once they're finished with that project, they're going to start moving that stuff right onto the trail. So I think last I heard from Jim, he was hoping to have that done in the next month or so.
I guess that kind of threw him a curveball when they were actually excavating all the way down to the,
Oh, yeah.
he was getting a lot of dirt, so they had to come back so they're milling twice. They're doing
Oh, wow.
top and then coming back to get
Get the dirt.
so
Oh, wow.
it's,
All right. Any other questions for Eric? Okay. Well, real quick, Miss Judy, before we jump into our other new business, will you give us an update, please?
I don't know how to connect this.
So, big news is that we moved the communications building, now located in its final destination as the Visual Arts Center. 720 tons, I think
It's big.
320 tons. I don't know. It was
And then when they started turning the thing, I go, it's falling, it's going to be, nope. And some guy kept going underneath the thing, too. And I'm going, oh, geez.
for those of you that weren't able to watch it, they actually moved it with a remote control.
Yeah.
The guy walking along next to it had the remote control. I believe it had 10 sets of 8 truck tires.
It just, the trailer was as long as this wall. And the guy he'd go underneath the front of the building. I go, that's how we get in the newspaper.
Each one of those sets of 8 tires had its own hydraulic on it. So
Right, it was.
them up and down and driving them.
I'll have to go.
Nothing fell apart.
I'll go down there and look.
Nothing fell apart. Yay.
Damnedest thing. I know I sound like an idiot here. It's damnedest thing. And then they wheeled it over the hole in the ground, the basement. That was when Dee and I were wondering how they're going to pull that off. So I pulled over across the street and watched it. And I went,
Like Jenga, right? Just pull the sticks out, watch it fall.
yep.
Yeah, so that went very, very well. The project is actually very far ahead of schedule. With our contract with the Lilly Endowment, we have until the end of the year 2022, but we have already planned our grand opening for May 21st of 2021. So we have less than a year,
Right.
and we expect everything to be complete. We will continue to meet monthly with the Parks Department, and as we get closer to the finish, we might meet a little more often than that.
Right.
As we're barreling right along, and we want to make sure that master plan and the cultural campus are in tune. And other than that,
What's our next phase? We got the building relocated, so what's the,
so we are actually working on phase 2, 3, 4, and 5 all at the same time.
okay,
Why things are moving along so quickly. Phase 2 is the addition to the back of the theater, and that is well underway. All the sticks are in. I think they're working on the roof right now. The moving of the communications building as the Visual Arts Center, of course, that needs to be renovated and get all the utilities to it, and the plaza. All of those are being done at the same time. Phase 5 is the artwork that goes into that plaza, and we have an artist contracted to do an augmented reality app. We have another artist contracted to build a sculpture for in front of the Visual Arts building. The musical swings, obviously that contract was done a while ago. We will be the first to receive a permanent installation of the musical swings, and within the contract, it's written that they will not sell another set of musical swings within a 100-mile radius.
oh, wow.
So we should be,
Take that. They're north of 96th Street, I won't say their names.
for those musical swings.
Those things are cool.
2 questions. A, even with school kicking back and I obviously doing in-person activities with youngins and the like, will we still be offering virtual activities for youth as the school year gets rocking and rolling?
Yeah, so staff is still trying, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yes.
We obviously did our summer camp virtually. We've got our classes going virtually. We have our poetry reading going virtually. We're actually, we've created a podcast, which is interviewing artists about how they're handling the pandemic. We have also started a couple of virtual programs. There's a 10-minute play fest that should be launching later this month. And we're working on a community game show.
Oh, wow.
It's called Arts Showdown. It's a competition between community members. It's all held over Zoom. It's a lot of fun to interact with. And then Tony, our program director, will edit it down to a short TV show hosted on
No way. I don't need help me making an idiot out of myself when it comes. No. Now, I mentioned this kind of in passing last month, and Judy, you and Eric, I'm giving you guys homework assignment here. I would really like, as we get out of these weird times that we're in, because it's an issue of us with the graffiti that gets on our skate park wall.
I love that.
And I just kind of kick that around. I'm going to keep kicking it around. So I'd like to see that as an art activity somehow.
I would love to do
Okay, so I'm putting that as your guys' homework assignment moving forward.
Amen.
Okay, just something, I need to be cool.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Our skateboard park that's over there, community park, it gets graffitied and all that happy stuff. So maybe let's get some young people or local artists together and.
That's something that we love doing.
So
We know the right people. I know a number of local graffiti artists that do things in a graffiti style.
Right.
Work, and I'm sure they would love to work with the kids.
Okay.
And, sometimes if you can get those same kids who are putting the graffiti out
Right,
there.
to participate in a positive manner. Yep.
Yeah, so happy to talk about that with Eric.
Go ahead there, Thomas.
Along the same line, security at the cultural campus,
Yes.
what,
So
Yeah, good point. Thanks, Tom.
I'm actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm actually talking to a number of vendors right now about security on the campus. It all has to be tied to the same internet source. So we're tying it to ours in the theater and the visual arts building. But there will also be exterior cameras on the campus so that we were going to try to put some inside the Sterot Center. I think at this point, we can talk about it, but I think
Right.
at this point, we're just going to aim them at the front of the Sterot
Right.
Center. And I believe there are 6 outdoor
Yes.
cameras
Yep, I remember that.
in
Since that,
total
yeah.
that pretty much look at, the different areas of the campus. It's all hosted in the cloud, so I can give Eric a login, and he can go in there and see who's on the campus at any time. And I believe you can turn the cameras on if you want to, but they're mostly motion activated. So if somebody is on the campus doing something, it'll trigger the camera to turn on, and I believe it's stored for 30 days or something. So
Okay.
That's a
we
big
can
one.
catch the graffiti.
Yes.
You know, you never know.
No,
Well,
no.
there's a lot of expensive things.
Yeah, the investment that's being made, yeah, we like to keep
I
it.
think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else? Thank you, Miss Judy.
Thank you.
All right. We've got just some, I was telling gentlemen, I was getting sworn in on the zoning board. I go 90% of the time we get to do, feels like we're getting something done or fun stuff. Knock on wood, it feels like what we're doing tonight. We got this letter A, a new business. It's kind of a bureaucratic, but we have to do it. It's the Purple Line quick claim deed. The Purple Line will be coming out to Lawrence. It's from the federal government. I will emphasize that for other reasons. We'll just leave it alone. But the federal government is fully contributing their portion, and the construction of it will begin. So Eric, talk to me.
Well, I even blew this up on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Work. But roughly, they need new radius on the northwest side of Post and Otis. So they're going to push that back a little bit, I think,
Okay.
and allow for handicap ramping.
Now, will there be a station there?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No.
Where is that?
The Sterot Center on the corner of Post and Otis.
Okay.
So the northwest corner, they need to, and I'm not sure if it's due to the bus flow or how it's, but they need a little more right-of-way to move that corner back and from what I'm looking at, it's 8 feet. They need 8 feet of right-of-way. So about where the tree is, is on the right-of-way. It doesn't look like they'll actually develop to that point, but that will be the new right-of-way on the corner. 68 feet from center line of Otis.
Okay. And the part they're looking at, the quit claim for us, that would be, I talked to you the other day, is that, I call it the flagpole corner?
Yeah,
Okay. So that's on that southeast side of the building?
yeah, they've already obtained the one from the bank corner,
Okay.
getting ours. It doesn't look like the other two corners are going to be affected.
Eric, Tyler, or Joe, anyone, do we have any idea when, really, I mean, and besides federal money, Marion County taxpayers, we're also contributing towards bringing rapid transit out into the area. Do we have a timeline of when it may commence? I just know everything, the funding mechanism, at least from the feds, has materialized. Okay. And all we need here is just approval to grant them the quit claim, correct?
Yeah, and it does, the signature page allows for 4 signatures, so if
I'll sign it.
need at least Jeff, you have to sign, but
All right.
anyone else can sign also.
And this isn't an actionable,
No,
just that we right. I will sign it.
sign. You're giving them some property, so.
Yeah, well. Reaction to the City of Lawrence, got it. Eric, why don't you sign it? There you go.
This was all for turning radius, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, Well, why don't you just stay up there? What's the ultimate tournament, special use?
Agreement, they had applied for additional tournament this weekend. Informed Mr. Decker that they needed the COVID plan down through Marion County. He didn't have time to do that, so they're moving everything up to Cicero. So
There should be at least a third-party operator.
if there's games over there, they're Fall Creek games.
Okay,
So you can pull that request from your agenda.
all right. Real quick, have all the appropriate signatories signed off on that Fall Creek Little League use agreement?
Yeah, and even the one that with Mr. Decker,
Right.
that was
Got it. So we're good to go there.
things, I guess, he just signed it and sent a copy of it.
Right.
City Legal said that was
Got it.
certainly good.
All right. Go ahead.
Did Ultimate Tournaments file their documentation on what they did? Was it $7,500? Is that what we,
I haven't seen it yet, so,
that's in the minutes.
yeah.
Yes.
They need, they've,
Yeah, I'd like to see that by the next meeting.
okay.
And
that-
go ahead.
With that, Fall Creek baseball, softball, or softball, baseball was a part of that also, so the,
Yep.
And I think just city legal needs to be kept informed of that in case the parties are negligent in reporting back.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea if we got documentation on
Yes.
every
Yes.
agreement, what they did, how much time they spent, what they thought it was worth.
All right, Eric, anything else from you? Well, we have our Resolution 1, 2020, rental rates of various facilities and fields. Would you like to walk us through that?
the new copy that
Of?
we sent to you.
Just
You got, okay. So things changed even after the budget hearing today, so
Oh, okay.
these are new numbers that we would appreciate the board looking at and possibly granting, especially the Sterot Center. Not only because of the COVID, but we've lost funds
Right.
compared to last year. So we're looking at a single payer rate, going away from the resident, non-resident, because 9 times out of 10, the non-resident would find a resident to reserve the. So with the new TPAR system where people can make reservations
Right.
online, we don't have to go through any of that.
Bring a bill or however you verify.
So primarily, we split the resident, non-resident fees in half. And so everybody will pay the same rate.
How do these rates, like Gin Park, Sterot Center, how do those compare? How do the rates compare this year or for next year for this year?
There hasn't been a rate increase since.
Okay.
It was the JESP administration 5 or 6, maybe 7 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't feel badly about that. And again, we're still providing some discounts for military, registered military, active duty, get a 25% discount. And then city employees get it once a year.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still a little unclear. What's the difference between the rates last year and this year?
Right.
What percentage have we increased the rates?
The Gin Park, we were at $650 with residents, $850 with non-residents. So we just went
I see.
$750. So
So really, by
the only one we actually increased was the $850 for the Sterot Center because it's in higher demand. We put a lot of money into it.
Yes, and we've got to get a new HVAC. If you haven't been in there, whoo.
what was the Sterot Center?
Sterot Center was $650 and $850 for $650 for residents, non-residents with $850.
Just as a point of a legal document, like, in case I haven't seen it, it's not written into here that there is a 25% discount for military. I think I'd like to see that.
Yeah, it's an ordinance that Jeff Coates actually passed.
Okay, I just,
We just this afternoon did a lot of cutting and pasting to.
oh, okay. Just for clarification for everyone, where it says Sterot Center, it says $850 security deposit, yada, 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 plus catering. Would you extrapolate on
We
that?
hope to enter an agreement with 2, maybe 3 caterers for the 2021 season. And you have to use a caterer from our preferred list,
Right.
which in turn will provide more revenue and hopefully allow for a cleaner building. And
Right.
so,
Couple other things here if we go to the second page. We've experienced this. Folks have come before the board demanding, requesting return of their security deposit. We've gone through that before. Do we use a punch list, checklist of things that either pre and then post with our renters?
we
Didn't know how other communities did it.
the guys take pictures,
Okay.
and we put that on the file, in an Outlook file or something, and then we send a correspondence to the renter.
When they go to rent one of our facilities away from the Sterot Center, like the community center or the community activity or those areas in particular, I should know this and don't, do either you, D, RJ, Bobby, or anyone, do they meet or go with the renter out there so that both sides are looking at before an event?
With the Sterot Center, it's quite easy. Dean
Right.
and I will take them through a tour. Gen Park and the community center, we have them either meet some staff member out there,
Okay.
or they take a key and they go over and do a self-tour, then they come back. And so they know where all the chairs are and how many chairs, and
Tom? Good thing.
Yeah, on the field and diamond rental.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Community park, baseball field, how about the other baseball fields do we want?
we've got Alexander Park, Community Park, and why did I? Well, yeah, that's my fault for not putting the, right now with Veterans Park, since they're on a full year lease, we would have to, on their, or look at that schedule, but,
I was going to say Lee Road. I think we need to include Lee Road and Veterans Park. I think that needs to be because, of course, we've been down that road already this year. Don't want to do that again. Also, Eric, just because it's not here, Tom brought it up. I'm going to finish your thought here. Soccer field, how does that work? Maybe just get it out here in public. I know we have the regular youth leagues play out there. We have FC Pride type of elements, but how does that work?
so you see you mean the soccer?
Okay, that's right in front of me. Throw something at me. I'm an idiot. Jeez, oh, Pete. Never mind.
And we've got that split up 1 through 5 are our premier fields. 6 through 21 they're all good fields, but that's where most of the play goes.
Up there, Eric, real quick, it says Bark Park fees there. It says must provide Lawrence water bill proof of city residency.
We'll probably take that out and just go to the,
Flat rate for everyone.
yeah,
Okay.
we can amend that and bring it back. Again, I just wanted to
Hopefully we get started on.
some information
Yeah.
to the board, and then,
When will these fees go into effect?
well, they really don't change much, but we'd like to get the Sterot Center into effect
Right, right.
ASAP, so when we start getting those calls to reserve, we've got some reservations for next year already. So
Okay,
we can't go retroactive.
right.
to those individuals, but we will from this day on.
For a point of reference, for just to be on the record here, Cathedral High School, boys and girls soccer, freshman JV varsity. Walk us through what fields they use, where are they at in their agreement, fees that they incur. Go ahead.
I don't have that schedule with me, but they did send it out today. I know they start,
Wednesday, I think.
they have a scrimmage against Westfield on Saturday. Both boys and girls. They play most of their games on 4 or 5.
Right, 4 or 5. And their agreement with the city runs through when?
Well, we've got to pull that up, but we think it ends this year,
Okay.
2021. I think it was reintroduced for an additional 5 years,
And what
16.
do they give in return for use of our fields?
Not very much.
It's gratis?
Not very much, besides a headache, yeah.
Okay,
The original agreement was for the scoring tower, which is now,
I want to see tore down. I think that needs to be part, but we're not negotiating right now. But do they put anything towards barking paste, seed, fertilizer, upkeep? Okay.
they are lining their own fields this year and purchased their own goals, which was interesting, but because,
Where will they be playing next year? You said this is the end of the agreement?
no, well, the agreement that we have with them ends this year, so it'd be a negotiation for,
What's their relationship with FC Pride? Good, bad, indifferent?
I'd say right now it's pretty much a stalemate, yeah.
Do they use the lighted fields?
Yes.
Do they pay anything towards the lights, utilities? I will have a conversation with Mr. Strife.
I want to bring up a sore subject here, but cathedrals charge admission for soccer?
I imagine they do,
I think
Tom,
they
yeah.
do.
Yeah, they always have.
Yeah.
For the board info, another homework.
I think that was in the agreement that they've,
Is it?
So we no guessing here, because we've been burned. No guessing, it's a sore point. Tired of offering stuff for nothing. I'm all ears if you're going to bring me some money to the table. We need to see that agreement ASAP. I think this is one of those issues that needs to get pushed to the front of the line now. It really is. I mean, we had an issue earlier this summer with one of our leagues, and not that necessarily Cathedral's been a terrible
It's slightly different, I think, or somewhat different.
right partner, but I think we all need to see that. And then I think we've brought up 4 or 5 things right now already. I think we need to have, and for Cathedral's sake too, don't get me wrong, I think we need to have in place for us, and I'm going to say it's about us, in a potential new agreement, or if we can't come to an amicable terms, give them time to find somewhere to play for 2021.
they were, when the Lawrence Soccer Corp was together and they had a seat in that
Right.
board, they were much more amenable. But since the dissolution of that, it's been,
All right, so we need to see that agreement. We got to get conversation. I'm going to be bugging you. We need to get a conversation going with the soccer court folks. I mean, Cathedral uses those fields a ton once their season starts. They really do. But this we got to get moving on this as soon as possible.
And I think we have to acknowledge that the cathedral does not exist within Lawrence Township,
Yeah. It's another issue.
city or within the township.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think our situation's different from Westfield, but still, that makes me nervous about, the situation with Westfield.
Oh, yeah.
And, I think it's different.
Right.
That's under the redevelopment authority, and which is a whole different animal.
It started stinking when you saw who was overseeing
People's
it.
consciousness
Right.
about these things, and I think we need to pay more attention to that.
Yeah. If you don't know what, Tom, I'll share the article. The City of Westfield's going through some issues right now out of Grand Park, and who is overseeing it probably starts there, and then it.
Yeah, those redevelopment authorities got their problems.
So, but we get that agreement out, and so we can get moving on that. All right. With that said, we kick that around. Any other comments on our fee structure? Tom, Ms. Holland, Ms. Wendy?
So are we approving some of this, or not?
If the board would be amenable this evening, I would like the Sterot Center at least to be agreed upon, and then we'll put the rest in a much more readable format.
And not only that, you're right. I remember Jeff Coates, Councilman Coates, and the military discount. If nothing else, that formal wording, just be at it and have it back here for next month. So with those words said, at this time, I'd entertain a motion concerning the 2021. Am I correct there? For 2021 fee structure
21 reservations, yes.
for the,
She's got a question.
oh, I can't see. Yes, Judith, I couldn't see you, kiddo.
In 2021, the hospital campus will be open, and, your renters in the Sterot Center would have access to that. I proposed this earlier, but I really think that, you could rent the Sterot Center with the cultural campus for 5 times what Eric is proposing.
I think my only issue I have, and I have none with, believe me, I think our facility should be used. I mean, we said a whole buttload of money to the city of Indianapolis and really don't get anything back from them. You guys have heard me say that a million times. It's just true. I think that my biggest sticking point is I don't want to cut out the citizens of the city of Lawrence from having to pay. I get it. I would not have a problem charging $1,500 to somebody to rent out the Sterot Center. With that said, I don't want to cut out people who live in the city of Lawrence being put into a corner to pay what people who live in Lawrence Township but live in the city of Indianapolis. That's my only pushback. I was thinking that too, Judy, when I saw that. I mean, the Sterot Center with the cultural campuses and with everything else that is going on here, out at the fort here, I thought we should charge more, but I really would like to see that $850 number stay for citizens of Lawrence, and I don't have a problem with the non-citizen of Lawrence that going up to $1,200.
So, I mean, we can look at a rental of just the Sterot Center, then if they rent part of the green space or part of then there's an additional fee and the net additional fee for outdoor activities or for activities that go outside the confines of the Sterot Center.
And I get that, but I still struggle with the idea that we are not getting our bang from the buck, for non-citizens of Lawrence. I don't want to bleed people. $850 is dirt cheap to rent a facility regardless. I think $1,200 to rent a facility, a nice facility, is still dirt cheap. I just, right now, that was where I'm coming at. I just would like to see that amended change, just the Sterot Center, to reflect citizen versus non-citizen. And that's just, if you guys differ, you know.
So are you saying you would like a fee for citizens and non-citizens for the Sterot Center?
Yes,
And are you saying, in addition, that citizens and non-citizens could be adjusted for the extra facilities? So it could be, let's just say, $700 for citizens plus $500 for the outdoor, or something like that, or,
Yes.
and then 900 plus X, or whatever.
yes.
So if we could charge more for the cultural park, if we attach it to the Sterot Center, but that you still want to maintain the two separate
Yes, ma'am.
fees.
Yes.
One of the other concerns that Arts for Lawrence has for this is that if you have a wedding going on, when we have an event going on, how is that going to?
What will that look like? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think $850 is a steal for the Spirit Center, if you guys want to do that for now, but I would love for you to revisit this, before the cultural campus is open, or that you're getting what is fair market for, renting, what is, a $6 million park. And that, we can make sure your bridal parties are happy, as well as performing in the amphitheater, whatever.
How about we do this? Because this is a fun thing. This is a good, like I said, we're trying to raise some revenues, but yet this is a fun activity. I would advise that we table this. We can come back for a 10-minute meeting if we have to. We can do that, folks, to structure, put together a fee structure. Eric, if you want to talk to administration about what we've kicked around, we can come back and revisit this in 2 or 3 days. That's what I want to do it that way, because I agree with Judy. I think we need to get our bang for our buck, but I know, Dee, you're taking reservations for 2021 now, so I don't want to kick this can down the road too far.
Yeah, and
Not change the fee structure in 2021 once you could approve $850 now and change the fee structure when.
Boy, I don't like to do that. I don't like that. To me, that's bad faith. To my opinion, I think it's bad faith.
Well, I'll tell you that right now, if I were renting the Sterot Center and it's in the middle of a big mud puddle full of construction.
Yeah.
If I paid $850 for it, right? But come May of 2021.
See, when you got up and spoke, that's what I was banking on. Come May 2021, the birds are going to be chirping and the black-eyed Susans are going to be poking through the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's when I started thinking cha-ching a little bit here. Go ahead, Tom.
How will the Sterot Center be separated from the cultural campus?
there's really not, there's a,
Because you got back doors.
it's really, but it
So when we developed the cultural campus, we incorporated the Sterot Center as part of it.
Okay.
The application to the Lilly Endowment talks about parks bringing in more programming into the Sterot Center. We proposed a few things, and we now have them as alternates because we're not sure what you all want to do, but we had anticipated that a restaurant would move into the Sterot Center, or caterer restaurant. We have an outdoor cafe design for right outside the kitchen of the Sterot Center. And we took down the brick wall that was right there by the patio, mainly because it was going to fall over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We also have that open, and it will be connected to the main brick walkway that goes through the cultural campus. So after the cultural campus is finished, when you walk out onto that patio of the Sterot Center, you're on the cultural campus.
You're there.
On the main walkway that goes right through it with, it's a brick, 12-foot wide, 10-foot wide brick walkway with hand-carved limestone benches right down the middle of it. The city lamp posts
Okay.
are, see them from the patio. It's integrated right into the middle of it.
Yeah, so my question is, how would you rent them separately then, or together? I mean, I don't
I
understand.
don't know if we know yet.
Pardon?
I don't know if we know yet.
Okay. All right.
Well, and part of the cultural center is open to the public at all times, correct? So
Yeah.
and you can't really rent something that's public space.
I would-
There is an amphitheater with a walkway down it. I mean, I can see people wanting to get
Yeah,
buried on the amphitheater
yeah.
So they could rent that portion of the space.
center, yeah.
Okay, and that's kind of what I was saying. I mean, we have things that have not been developed. They're going to be developed. We have things that are not finished yet, that are going to be finished that need to be put a part of this fee structure. And like I said, that's why I said if we could table this is a work in progress. This is truly a positive, but it's a work in progress here in our hands. So that's why I would move to table it till we can get something a little more polished, but more importantly, with that Sterot Center, have conversations with administration, what would looking at charging a $1,200 and $850, and what Ms. Wendy said, people want to rent beyond just an indoor building structure. And I'll be honest, I don't know what that would be right now. I don't know what that would be right now. Judy, I could say you got a better grasp on it than I, but you're right. Right now, it's a mud hole. And it's not going to be forever, but that's what it is right now. And I don't want to leave our cards on the table. We have a valuable asset, and I think we have got to tap into it as fullest as possible. So polish it up a little bit. The next 3 days, we can come back and revisit it.
Let me back up just a little bit. We're talking about the Sterot Center, right?
Right.
It's $650 for Lawrence
Residents.
residents, $850 out of Lawrence. We want to make it all $850. Is that right?
Right. Well, $850, that's what it proposed now.
Right.
My idea is to make it $850 for residents and $1,200 for non-residents.
Okay. All right, if we can get back together, that would be the.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah, it's not
And
higher, but again,
Jeff, we only have maybe 3% for the whole year that is a non-resident rental. I mean, they go out and they find a brother, a sister, a
Yeah,
cousin, a friend, to come in and put it in their name.
That was my next question, is the percentage.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, because maybe 2-3% of the non-resident rates are being paid. The rest of them are the resident. That's why we wanted to boost it up the rates, because
and like I said, I don't think it's enough for that building. I'm going to be hard-headed here. I still would like the two-tiered for that building, but I understand you folks. I think it should be up. You guys, folks, I think it should be $1,200. Resident, non-resident, if we only had one fee structure, I'll be honest with you. I still support the two-tiered. But I agree with Judy. I don't think we're getting enough bang for our buck out of that building right now. I just don't.
oh, no, we had a,
Especially with what has been done to it, and Eric, share with the group, what's an HVAC unit going to cost to put into that building?
it's about 70 grand.
Yeah.
And if you've been in the non-Eric D world and enter that main area there, it's like going to another world climate-wise. So
Rainforest.
I guess this is what I'll propose. I propose that the Sterot Center for all residents, regardless from where they hail, I shouldn't use residents, but all potential renters for Sterot, I would like to see that read $1,200.
With $400 deposit.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have a question.
Yes.
Can we signify that rate is good through May 21st, 21, and then revisit
Come back and revisit it.
as the park gets completed, and then revisit the cost when the park is completed?
Well, the cultural campus, wouldn't that be something like the way we've got the football fields and the base, I mean, we rent those,
Oh,
it's like a
go to
reservation.
page 2 there, Miss Wendy.
You're not really renting it, you're reserving it, which is anything, saying other people can't use it during that period of time. So wouldn't that be what we would be doing? It's like the amphitheater and
Yeah, I
the
mean, I
cultural
really don't.
campus. Wouldn't it be
I think
something
you're-
similar to that?
That's kind of what we're looking at.
Well, if you're adjacent to it, and you can use the public portions of it when you're there, and it enhances the property,
Yeah, okay.
then I think the property may want to rent for a higher amount.
That's possible.
How far in advance is the Sterot Center reserved? I mean, like, when would you have to have that cost figured out for sure?
We opened up July 6th this year to start reservations. I don't know what we've got, probably.
So you really can't wait until May to figure out the cost. You need to figure it out before then.
Do it now.
We can wait till May, but if they reserve it now for like December of next year, they're gonna pay the price now.
Right.
And then
So if you want to get the money, you've got to get the fee structure in place sooner.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say, but then I like to, just amend it, just don't overthink this a whole lot. I'd like to make it a flat 1,200 fee for
I agree.
2021.
I agree.
Then we can this is fee structure is definitely a work in progress. As components of the cultural campus come online, we may have to revisit it come January, February of 2021 to update this document here. Is that correct?
If I can put it on the agenda for our next month Parks and AFL meeting, to kind of look at this and
Well, yeah, the look at that, I agree wholeheartedly. But I think we need to get what you said, Miss Karen Taylor. I think we need to get the fee structure in place now instead of later. How do you guys feel?
I'm okay with it.
So we'd really be jumping from $650 to
1,200.
$1,200.
Correct.
Most people are paying $650 now.
Correct.
Okay, what kind of pushback are we going to get on
I
that?
don't know, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little anxiety about that. I want people to use it.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and Tyler, you can chime in here. There's one thing I think that we have been kind of not very good at, remiss in doing, is I don't think we have tapped into our resources enough. I mean, how do we raise money outside of taxes we collect and fees we charge? And that's always, no, you're not, we don't get rich on the back of our citizens that live in the city of Lawrence. By far, we don't. And I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say a lot of folks who use our facilities, even when they get their cousin or whoever, don't live in the city of Lawrence.
I agree. I agree.
When we get that with our youth leagues, we already know that. We already know that. I hate to be that way. We're growing up out here on Fort Harrison. This place is growing up. We're in the 21st century out here, folks. We're going to have an arts cultural campus. This is the city of Lawrence. Lived 58 years. Who would ever thought we'd have a cultural campus in the city of Lawrence? We're more than baseball fields and soccer fields. We've got to get out of that mindset. And our asset that we have sitting there in the heart of it is the Sterot Center.
And I might add that the Sterot Center, if it's too expensive to rent the Sterot Center, we have other options.
Correct. And we cannot keep, if we need a $70,000 improvement, especially in the era that we're in with tight budgets that are coming up, we've got to find a way to upgrade our facilities, whatever they may be. And I don't think adding $600 to me for a rental, it's still $1,200 is still fairly cheap to rent a facility, in my opinion. And you know, that's where I still struggle. I don't want to stick it to people that live in Lawrence. I understand that.
They might take better care of it.
They might take better care of it, too.
Deposit on it, too.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents. Any other discussion? And we can change that. If 1,200 is too high, you want to walk it back to 1,000?
Tell you what, look, let me propose a compromise. Could we go ahead and approve the $850 for 1 month? You know, so that Dina and Eric have something to price it, then come back next month with some proposal about the cultural campus and a higher fee.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because that way it gets it up to $850 immediately for everybody. Then if we decide it's higher, it's higher, and whoever comes in after that pays the higher price.
I like that.
Yeah,
Dina, does that work? I mean, might change it.
dollars that we. So we'll just we'll give them the notice, this might raise next month, so you probably ought to make your.
Yes, tell them up front here, if you kick the can down the road, it might be $1,200. There's a real possibility it'll be $1,200.
Oh, man.
And okay, it's a compromise. So
That's kind of,
Tom Burns just made we have a motion out there.
we'll move that, yes.
Okay, the motion being that Sterot Center rate for all interested parties will go to $850 plus the other applicable terms listed there. The caveat that could change. I'm going to go September 2020 by board action.
Yep.
How's that sound?
That sounds fine.
That's the motion. Tom made it. I need a second.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Discussion.
Well, it's good because, like I said, we are actually, Judy, and I know Judy has a good board, has been working, but we have a real asset out here.
Yeah, I think that's,
And that asset's going to become more valuable with what's on the table down the pike here a little bit. It's going to become more valuable.
one thing that might help is if we could get some figures from comparable facilities, or I don't even know if there are comparable
Well,
facilities.
yeah, about the only thing comparable would probably be, the Art Center, or Eagle Creek has their garden,
To the pavilion-ish.
they've got a building, it's on the west side.
Okay.
Holiday Park has a,
Yeah, Holiday Park, you're right.
I don't know.
They have
I'm not opposed to raising the price, but I just want to make sure that we're being reasonable.
Yes, I agree. I know. I struggle with it too.
Okay.
All right, another fun thing here real quick. It is fun. We're finally getting some fun. Mr. Tyler, you're on. Make it happen. I've been talking this up.
Well, yeah, I think this is fun. We're looking at, we put out a bid a couple weeks ago for a synthetic ice skating rink. And we got one bid, so that is who we'd like to go with. It's Quick Rink. And in that bid is, comes with, I believe, a 5, or I have to double check again. It has a warranty. But we also get logo panels, so we have our City of Lawrence logo in there. And with that, we get some surrounding fencing, along with 200 ice skates to rent, and a skate sharpener. It comes with a lot to help us start off to do some skate rentals. So we're talking a lot about revenue, and this could.
And placement, where would this go there?
We'd like to see this more like a Christmas market. So when we do the tree lighting, as many days as we can get out of it, we'd like to do that, but it'd be at Civic Plaza. So we have to build a little bit of a platform with the street guys, and we'd set it there. They're just panels that click together. So they seem pretty serious. There's some videos out there of professional hockey players using it, so it's.
Now,
It's an outdoor rink.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hey, Jeff, this is Joe Murphy here.
Yeah, go, Joe.
Just to contribute to what Tyler had to say there, and Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. I think it's a 60 by 80 foot rink, and we would get all of that plus some additional panels in case we ever had to replace some. We get the fencing that goes around it, and like Tyler said, we're going to have a big 8 by 8 foot logo right in the center of that. In the off seasons, that'll be stored by the streets department. We've already been working with Jimmy Hennigan to figure out how we're going to store it and how we're going to set it up when we do use it. And like Tyler said, it's synthetic, so they advertise it's 90% as quick as natural ice. But obviously, you can use it during the heat of the summer or the cool of the winter, and I think that I don't know what the warranty is, but I think they say it's what, a 10-year useful life on the surface.
They promote it as a 10-year useful life. I was talking to the guy, he said you should be able to get 20 out of it.
90% is fast, but 100% is painful when you fall upon it.
I'm having visions of Christmas in July.
Oh, God.
Actually, I'm glad you said that. We had promoted, or we had kind of pitched an idea of potentially offering at least getting it one day in a, you know, in warmer weather and doing a like Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
the
way
July
the-
4th celebration or something.
Exactly.
the way the world is right now, it'd probably do us a lot of good now.
I'll have something outside where people can gather outside too.
A couple things, as far as a chance to make some monies, how have we calculated and looked at it? How would that work?
I didn't have a chance to print it off with me. We've gone over some estimates on it. I can't remember the price. Joe may remember off the top of his head. I think it was like maybe $10 a head was significant. I think after 5 years we had a return on our investment. So
Yeah, I think you're right, Tyler. I think, and he put together some very, very reasonable estimates for what we could bring in on a yearly basis, just renting it out and operating it ourselves. And I think we paid off after 5 or 6 years, and then after that, we're pocketing everything beyond that. And I can't remember the exact numbers, but I want to say we thought we could bring in, and I don't want to pitch out random numbers right now, but it was a significant amount of money to where we thought it was very worthwhile to go ahead and bring it to you guys.
Couple of questions here. A, does Quick Rink have something, have other facilities we could go online and look at? And B, that the initial, to make money, you got to spend money, cost of $94,000, from which accounts would that come from? The maintenance of it during the season as an additional cost from this department, just all that happy stuff, not the fun stuff, but can you walk me through that?
So this will be coming from the general fund budget. We've already looked that over. We've got enough in there to, I think this foregoes Alexander Park's playground equipment. This year, yeah. So we can do it next year. But this will get us a revenue source for, well, depending, I think Karma already canceled their Christmas.
Right.
So this actually might be a great opportunity for the city to kind of capitalize if they canceled and then things turn around and we can have our own event. We might be able to bring in quite a bit of people. So that's where it's being paid from. Logistically, we're going to have to get with Jim Hennigan and his guys.
Right.
That'll be a coordination between him and Eric, obviously, to get that set up. And
It would maintenance be the Parks Department and street department, or how would that look?
The maintenance on the actual equipment, once it's set up, Jeff, it's
just tiles.
yeah, it's just tiles. Now it would probably require cleaning occasionally.
And then to tie that in, because we've talked about this before already. We run a concession stand or the rental of the skates, the day-to-day operation of the facility. How would that be staffed?
Well, it's been a discussion between the mayor's office, the park staff, and volunteers to.
Okay, that was going to be right.
Kind of how we're doing the farmer's market.
Okay.
It might even have an opportunity for a vendor or additional vendors around.
Correct, because I know we have kicked around the idea of possibly, sponsors out there.
Well, that's something we could potentially look at charging for with the
Right.
the decorative fencing that comes with. We could rent out, advertisement slots there
Right.
as well. That's another piece. But as far as, running the rental piece of it, we have our interns will be coming back
Okay.
to do that during
I
their.
was going to say, did I know how to phrase that question? What would we, I can't talk. What is the time frame of that we would operate it, would we envision?
I think we're looking at, of course, the Christmas program that the city has, and then running it probably weekends, starting on farmers,
Starting after the Christmas tree lighting every weekend up until into January, I think it was.
So roughly Thanksgiving to January.
Yeah.
just whenever weather would permit.
Okay. not like running, southern Indiana trying to run, ski slopes type of thing. This is not that concept. I know people will bring that up. He goes, it's not always cold in the wintertime. Then you have to reference them back. Carmel operates their outdoor rink just fine. Ellenberger has operated it just fine.
We don't, the weather to us, it doesn't.
That's what.
It doesn't.
I just want to make sure that got out there that if we run it from the 25th of November to the last day of February, which always that's kind of winter time around here. It's kind of that type of a time frame.
Right.
And again, you're talking about the Christmas in July, if we moved indoors to the Sterot Center, the community center, and you could fit it into a.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be wild. Yeah, it would.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I'm already
Going to
envisioning.
the Coliseum.
Yes,
I have a question.
go for it.
Can I assume that the liability insurance will fall under the city's general insurance plan?
So we'll have to get, especially depending on the event, I'm sure we'll have to get a specific insurance for a Christmas market and then continue to get an additional piece for each weekend after, but,
And that will also come out of the general fund?
yep.
Okay.
Tell me again where it's going to be located
Yeah.
exactly.
Civic Plaza,
Okay, what we're at in.
Otis and, what is that? Wheeler.
Same place
Joe,
they
jump
hold the
in here. We
farmer's
don't know where
market.
we're at.
But
Where we have the farmer's market.
Oh, okay.
Fords. And again, this piece could be brought over to this arts if there's a program, winter program, you could put on the very versatile.
okay, that's interesting.
It's a little time consuming once it's their 4x8 sheets click together like you've seen the kids blocks
Right.
Yeah,
locked together. And it's,
put it in your backyard, Helen.
Okay, would weed be, when I say weed, is it street department, parks department that would move it, tear it down? Or would it be quick?
it would be a combination.
Okay.
And then again, if we rented it out for, you could.
That would be my next question.
That's a good point.
Do we envision, I'm just throwing it out here, kids, a school, an organization, they wanted to have a special night, the swinging, the swinging seniors want to do an activity out there and just throwing stuff out there. Would we be willing to rent it?
That just depends on I've watched the video of them installing it.
Right.
It goes fairly fast, but I'm sure it would probably speed up with,
Well, even without moving it, we'd be willing to rent it out if somebody just wanted an organization or having an outing.
I envision it's laying there all year round.
No. I'm just talking about from November to the end of February. If somebody, a group just wanted to have a winter.
Yeah. They could, if we're doing weekend events, if somebody wanted to do like a Monday night.
Yeah, that's where I was going with it. Yes, a scouting or whatever. Yes, as another shot. It looks like we'll be coming back to this document again if we get it going. So this thing suddenly grew legs and very quickly, which is a good thing. But it's a money-making opportunity. Do you feel confident, Eric and Jimmy, Hennigan, do you guys feel confident in the ability to set up, tear down, safe, efficient, where it's usable and durable?
Yeah, we'll have to kind of build a pad for it. But that also goes with the vision of Civic Plaza. It's going to have a lot more usable flat space.
Okay.
If it's,
And we have people who have tried it out.
I haven't personally tried it.
No, I've not.
That's where I was going. Where can we go look? Can we go online? Where's the closest place? I mean,
Dealt with a lot of cities, and they had a major vendor, and I can't remember.
It's manufactured in Minnesota, so most of you wouldn't think, but it's easier for them to maintain
The synthetic.
outdoor venues.
then it is the Target Center where the Minnesota Wild play their games.
Well,
I think that's where they play up there.
it's the revenue or the cost to make ice
Right.
when the weather's 40 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly doing that. That makes sense.
Depends on a lot of outdoor 4 applications.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
No Zamboni machine.
Yeah, no Zambonis, correct?
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh, that'd have been cool.
no
That's a
real
bu-
water.
That's a bucket list of mine. I want to drive the Zamboni somewhere.
Cool.
One thing, people want to jump out of airplanes? No.
And there's no figure skates, these are all hockey skates.
Oh, okay, that was going to be my next question.
Nylon, so there's no
Okay.
I see the prospect of some youth clubs around maybe wanting, during the week, maybe wanting to use it for that purpose.
Sure people don't bring their own ice skates.
Yes, thank you.
you can use, like these skates, they're high quality, but they're not special for the rink. So if we need to replace them, we can go to the store and buy.
But what this Wendy asked, if someone brought their own skates, is
I would say if, for liability purposes, I think just to be safe, we'd probably just want them to have to rent it.
got it. Thank you, Wendy. That's a good observation. I think that would be whatever route we go in setting up. I think we need to start thinking about potential rules that need to be in place when this opens. If that's where you,
If a club already had, kids with their own skates, if they rented the ice from us, let them do what they please with it. But during our own event,
during when it's a city Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon, it's under our. Got it.
So figure skates, for instance, wouldn't hurt the surface?
No.
Okay,
Now, it could scratch up a little bit, but it's nothing
okay.
serious to it. And that's the nice thing with these two is, given that we have the warranty, if anything happens to them, we get them replaced. And then if we need to expand in the future for a larger,
Right.
it's easy. Buy a few more and stick them on there.
Okay.
I don't see me looking like Dorothy Hamill anytime soon, people. Don't have the legs for it anymore. Don't know if I ever did. All right. Any other questions?
No.
All right. I guess our purpose here is to accept a quote from Quick Rink for synthetic ice rink. I think that's what we need to act upon. And then after this, Tyler, where do we go from here? Where do you go from here with this?
With the approval, I'll get the PO in and send over to them. We'll get it here.
Okay.
They'll train us on how to get it set up. So,
Okay.
and again, and
Don't leave me yet.
I move,
Go ahead, Lynn.
make a motion?
Yes.
I move that we accept the quote 94086.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm going to pick on you a little bit, Joe and Tyler, that next month, kind of a more detailed, I'm going to go like timeline. What do you envision our rules to be out there? And maybe, because we've kicked this around, maybe some visuals for folks at home who may be watching this or who are here so they can kind of get a feel what this could look like.
And perhaps research sponsors.
Yeah, yes, I think that's a big one. I think that there's a chance there.
The staffing, and then how's it going to be set up with the money part of it? You're going to have a
We're going
booth or what? How's that work?
we'll have to have some further logistics, conversations on that, but we're going to look at getting probably 2 stands set up where you have like a pickup drop-off option on the skates, and then that's really, you have a little kind of setup center at that location, and we'll do concession stands obviously as well. So
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking, what would a kiosk like that look like for either rental and or, like you said, a concession type of area?
And you got deal with quite a bit of money too, probably.
And I'll tell you what, as I sit here and think, kiddos, as we're sitting here thinking of things that are of concern of this, Tyler and Joe Murphy, you guys will probably get emails concerning, questions and some logistics from us.
I think one of the things I want to see is how much space we would need in a stand for all.
There you go.
200 skates, it's hard for me to visualize how much space
I
we'll
don't have a
actually need.
picture of
So.
that.
Yeah, that's a good point. What would a shed, I'm using the word shed here.
That's been our,
What would a shed look like?
like the pop open windows and have
Little hut.
guys put
Yeah.
a ledge there so we can do that, but what size will we need and some.
I'm thinking of the Big Lebowski here at the bowling alley. I gotta get that out of my head.
We have 2 that we relocated from Lee Road Park to.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. All right. Anything else on this? Okay, thank you. It's exciting. Like I said, on the agenda tonight we had fun stuff, and that's what this at this time is what we need to hear. Hey, real quick, and I can't believe all of us in here blew through it. It slipped my mind. Eric, real quick, update on the master plan timeline and the survey.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
The survey is still open.
Is it going to stay open to the end of August?
Yeah, the end of August.
End of August.
We're still trying to figure out how we can have a public meeting to
Right.
gather the public information, so we're still, a little open on that.
Right.
We've got plenty of time, and the survey was very well done, very well,
Yes, and then good numbers so far.
we got a lot of good information. But again, everybody thinks they live in Lawrence, 70% of them.
Oh, that was funny. People, what was the great line that was used? No one knows where they live. It was funny when they came up. You're right. No one knew where they live. And with that in mind, you've got friends out there. Miss Wendy, share with board folks, LECC folks, because like I said, the vast majority of our facilities are the kids that partake.
Still on the city website, cityoflawrence.org. Just go to the
Yeah.
menu and take the survey.
The majority of folks using our facilities don't live in the city, so we need to know what their wants and needs are. So I forgot all about the master plan. It's my bad.
Good.
Anything else?
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, go ahead, Joe.
I've got something for the good. Shameless plug here for some of my colleagues. Daniel Byer and Jared Hooten have been doing an awesome job. They're our media guys, and they just put together a tourism website which
Yes.
features a great number of our parks. I'd encourage you guys all to go check it out. It's visitlawrenceindiana.com.
I'm going to get that out. Thank you, Joe.
It's not directly affiliated with the City of Lawrence.org website, but it is. It's going to become our official tourism website, and like I said, it features all of our parks very well, and they did an awesome job on it. I recommend you guys check it out.
Thank you, Joe. One more time, folks didn't hear that. It's visitlawrence.org. I took a gander at it. Yeah, it's very nice.
Lawrence, Indiana.
Pardon?
Visit Lawrence, Indiana.
Visit LawrenceIndiana.com.
Visit Lawrence, Indiana, because there's a Lawrence, Kansas, and a Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Don't go to.
And out east. Thank you, Joe. All right. Anything else? Good to the cause, the audience? We are adjourned.
Good.